Okay, I'm going to go over some basic editing inside of iMovie. I'm going to start with a new movie here. So I'm going to go under File, New Movie. Now, when you're working with iMovie, it's kind of awkward because they have some pre-made way of doing things that makes it hard, where it's not very intuitive. But again, I'm going to go over just basic editing. So I'm going to start with a new movie, and we're going to do our scary movie. And you can download the footage and try this if you want. What event am I putting it in? Sure, split event, I guess. Oh, no, I guess I should have put it into a new event. See, I'm new to this. Let's make a new event. And let's make a new movie. And scary movie. That way it's nice and open. Next I'm going to then import my footage. So I'm going to import my media by clicking on the import button. I have on my desktop the footage that I've downloaded from my camera. If I could find it. Scary movie footage. And I'm going to select my video footage and import it. Okay, so this video is just a basic video. I shot this video many years ago. It is it's not in high definition. It's actually normal video, but it is in the widescreen mode. iMovie here doesn't really designate the difference between high definition and normal video within the editing right now. When you export it, though, you can be able to export it out to different size video, and we'll talk about that when we export it out. In this case, there's a bunch of video footage, and you might see the sample that I've actually posted online of this before you start. So there's a variety of different options here, and I'm going to kind of, just like I did in the previous video, I'm going to start with kind of the road here. We got a little road action here of kind of the road. So I'm going to kind of, and how it works inside of iMovie is you work by editing in and out points of the video you want to use in this window over here and put it into the timeline down here. So in this case, I'm going to click and hold the mouse down over top of the video footage, and you'll notice you start getting this yellow bar coming up, and this yellow bar will designate the footage that you want to use. And don't worry about the actual footage. You don't know what, I'm just like this sort of image of the road going by, so I'm just going to click a yellow box around it and drag it down into the timeline. You can adjust the time down here and everything. If you listen to it, you'll see it's just basically the road, or like a sidewalk or something. I was filming the ground as I was riding a bike. I'm going to use that as the background for my title. So I'm going to put a title that kind of pops up. You can put this thing is called the playhead inside of iMovie that you can move back and forth. I'm going to kind of put it here, and I'm going to go to my title options in my title window here, where it's down here in the content library in the lower left corner is where you have the stuff. So if I click on title, it'll give me different title options here. You got the basic title in the middle. You have the title along the bottom. You got this title that kind of explodes when it comes in, explodes in. And so you have all these different options. Again, they're kind of pre-made, and they're kind of boring. You can do other ones inside of Photoshop and bring them in. I think I showed that in a previous video. I really want it to be very simple and subtle here. So let's just do a really simple one. I don't want anything elaborate. Kind of like the one in the lower corner here. That one's kind of interesting. Just a simple title right there. Yeah, let's use that one. So I double clicked on it, and it pops up down here. Once it's down there, you can go and type your text in. This is going to be called Where is Jane Doe? It's kind of a mystery, so that we're gonna call it Where's Jane Doe. Once you select your text, you can actually change things over here. You can change your color. I'm gonna make it black, and you can change the font if you want. Put a little typewriter font on there. And there's some basic editing, bold, italic, and things like that. When you're done, you can hit the plus. Now it's going to show up a certain length if you want. Down here it says 4 seconds. If you want it to be longer, you can drag it a little bit longer in the timeline by putting your cursor along the edge and dragging it longer. And so we can start our movie out. And we'll talk about getting rid of the sound on the video in a minute. Okay, it's a little long. I'm going to move the title up a little bit. Notice how I click on it and drag it in the timeline. You can move it around so it starts later, it starts before in your video. In addition, you might want to have your text, your video fade on at the beginning. There is a fade option. Where was that at over here? Was it under the turtle? No, this one right here. You can change different colors if you want. Ooh, this is kind of interesting. I might even put that on there. That made it more interesting. That was just an effect vignette. So at least that makes it a little bit more interesting than just plain round edges or square edges. That was kind of vignette. Wanted it to get the oh, here we go. No, it's color balance. I thought there was a fade option. I guess we can maybe try transition like I do with the other in Adobe Premiere. I tend to use a transition at the beginning of a video footage to have it fade on and fade off, and I'm just not sure if that's going to work here because it doesn't look like it really likes that fade to black. Let's try that at the beginning. It's gonna, well, it works. So it fades on. Let's see, can I drag it a little longer? So it's 1 second. Let's try 4 seconds. Apply. I want to slowly fade on. Let's move our title back a little bit. Okay, let's see what this looks like at the beginning. Okay, so the road turns on. We get our title coming on. The title fades off. And there. So next I'm going to go over, you know, that's all good. We got a great little title at the beginning of our movie. But usually what I do is I like to use a soundtrack and edit the video to the sound so that as the music changes, the visuals will change to the sound. So I already have a soundtrack that I want to use for this video. It's inside of my iTunes here, so I'm going to go and find my music. You know, of course, this is iMovie, so the best thing to do is take your audio and put it into iTunes before you start, and then you'll get access to iTunes inside here. And so I'm looking for a certain song. Oh, here it is, Horror Screams. No, we're going to use that a little bit later. It's in here. Okay, and here it is. It's called Adrenaline. We could listen to it before we bring it in. So we got this kind of driving music here. This is royalty-free music that I purchased many years ago, and so this is kind of my mystery music. I can simply click and drag it down here to the bottom of the timeline here and start it at the very beginning of my movie. So we can stretch it longer as we build our movie. We can stretch it longer so we can listen to it, so we can hear the changes. Again, you can stretch anything longer and shorter inside of iMovie by putting your cursor along the edge. Now, it's not like you're changing the actual, you know, frames per second. What you're doing is you're changing what we call the out point. So you have an out point of anything and an in point. So the in point is the starting point of anything, and the out point is the ending point of anything. This is how iMovie works. You can change the in and out. So let's hear what it looks like from the very beginning now. Music's not all the way at the beginning. There we go. And then you don't want the audio on your video clip. It's going to be automatically attached there. There's a way to detach, but a simple way of getting rid of the audio is if you put your cursor over top of the video footage inside the timeline for iTunes, you can put your cursor between the there's like a little fade option. You can just drag the audio fade to 0. So again, if you look closely in the timeline, there's like a little pull down for audio, and you can just simply drag the audio all the way down to nothing, and then the audio you won't hear it. Okay, let's start at the beginning again. So that way we don't have the sound of we just have the sound of the soundtrack. So where the sound starts changing, right there, I'm going to put my title in there. So I'm going to drag this over here, so that my title would actually start popping up when the music changes there. So let's hear it again. So you want to try and time your visuals and things to change according to the. I might even start a little bit earlier there if I can, just a little bit earlier. And I'm hitting the space bar to. So I'm going to listen a little bit longer to see if there's some audio changes here. Right there, the new music kind of started right around there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch the video, the end of the video here, to that point right there. Next, I'm going to go back to my video I'm working on with my little footage. Over here, there should be a series of you can see little stars and things like that. So I'm going to go back to the series here. Again, this is called Mystery, and I know we got a little blurry footage here, but we're looking for something. So I kind of like this bridge footage here, where it's looking at the bridge and then it goes into the water. I used that in my previous example. So I'm going to find that again if I can. It's down here. There's some video. I wish there was a way to easily make this a little bit smaller. I haven't figured that out yet. Don't really use iMovie very much. So I'm going to drag my yellow bar across all the footage here, and then it kind of goes into the water. There we go. So that's kind of long. So I'm going to go and kind of end it there. So again, I'm going to drag yellow. I'm just going to hold my mouse down and drag across some areas, and I'm going to drag it down here into the timeline. Not over top of the video, but right next to it, so they're butt up against. So right now what you would have then is a cut. It goes from this video. And of course there's some sound on there. You can shrink that down there. If you don't like where it started, you can actually just drag it, and so you can start it at a new spot. Again, I'm clicking on the beginning of the video and having it kind of start in a certain area. Kind of like it where the camera exposure changes here. It's a little dramatic. So I'm going to get that to work. If you don't want it to jump from this video, so you'll notice there's a cut. It goes from one video, boom, to the other video. And the viewer is going to be a little confused on what he's looking at, and he's going to look at the water. So if you don't want it to jump from this to this, you can actually put a transition in between. That's why we have transitions, and the most used one is the cross dissolve. If I click on the cross dissolve and drag it between the two clips, it'll then fade between them instead of just jumping from one to the other, so you can see it. Okay, the music just started changing right there. There was a little crash of a cymbal right around there. So I'm going to have the video change right there. So again, I'm going to drag my endpoint to that spot, and I'm going to grab another video footage. So, basic editing is very easy inside of iMovie. Maybe we'll get the money going here. Some money going. Money changing hands here. We'll put that in. It's a little. So again, there was a change in the music right there. And so you can. Let's turn the sound down there again. and then the music changes right about there. There's a new song coming on, a new sound coming on. So again, I'm going to adjust my oh, it was right around here. I'm going to adjust my out point to there, and then I'm going to grab a new footage. I wanted to get the speed video. There's a video of a bike riding, and it's, well, you can't tell it's a bike riding, but it's a clip here of going down a trail. So I'm going to kind of use that. I'm going to start right around here, and I'm going to put it in the timeline there. I'm going to put a whole bunch in there, and I'm going to change the speed so it goes really kind of fast. It's just not very easy doing this. So I'm going to grab it and put it in the timeline here. Again, your music, if the music isn't long enough, you can always put your cursor on the edge and drag it longer, drag it longer. What did I wanted to do with this long clip that I put in here? If we look at it, you'll notice it's just a kind of a bike ride. But I want it to be really kind of fast, like I'm doing as I'm scrubbing. We call this scrubbing as we move the playhead through the timeline here. Again, I'm going to turn the audio down on that one too. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the speed of this one. To change the speed, I click on the clip inside the timeline and go to there's like a little turtle here. Click on that, and I'm going to go to where it says speed. I'm going to say custom, and I want to make this a lot faster, maybe 600% faster. Hopefully this works. Does that work? I don't think that did work, did it? I tried doing that before and it didn't work. So I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do this fast. How about 20 times faster? Ooh, that's pretty fast. 8 times faster. There we go. That's about 80% down. So here we go. Let's cut from the money to that. Okay, so you get the idea of it going faster. I'm going to drag that just a little bit longer even. So let's see it again. It's a little bit much. Too much. So I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. And then last thing, I don't know. There's some bloody hands in there somewhere. Where is the bloody hands? The bloody hands. Bloody hands. Oh, we forgot the rings. I like these rings here. These are pretty good, kind of swinging like somebody was hanged. Oh, there we go. We got them moving here. Drag some of that there. A few seconds of that. A little swing action there. Might even slow that down so it goes pretty slow. I mean, make a short one, and again change the speed there. We're gonna slow. There we go. We'll make it kind of slower so they kind of swing slow. That makes it a little scarier. And then I swear there were, oh, here's the bloody hands. I'll put some bloody hands in there. And then don't need so much of this probably. Maybe make that a little bit shorter. Again, you just grab at the very beginning. Maybe grab some transitions and put them in between this footage. Like, at least in certain senses, transitions help. And then maybe just the last thing I would do then is put the title in here, where it says Oak Grove Park. Something happened in Oak Grove Park. And I'm going to put that at the end here. And then the last thing is the cars going down the freeway here. I like the chain link fence in there. Oh, here it is. This was a good footage from the last one. Kind of went speed. And we got that going in there. So again, listen for music and how the music changes. So something happened at Oak Grove Park. Let's speed that up a little bit. Again, we're just I'm just watching it, listening to it. Again, I'm going to turn my sound down on all these. So practice some basic editing like I just showed, and make yourself a little movie. You can use my footage or use your own footage, but you should be able to do some basic cutting, putting some transitions in between. I'm going to shrink my music down to the end of my video here. Then if I want to save my video or put it online, I can go underneath the modify, or I'm sorry, under the share option. If I can find share under here. Where's my share option? Inside of here. So again, it automatically saves, so you don't have to save in iMovie. It just saves as you go along. I find it a very difficult program to use because I don't use it very often. Oh, here's the big share options, this little option right here. If I click on it, you can save it as a file on your computer if you want. That's probably the best way to go than just putting it on your desktop. Again, this is shot at not high definition. It's shot at normal standard video right here. The 854 by 480 is the standard movie right there. So you have large. I don't know what large is. I don't know what the difference between large and you can still do high definition. It's fine to use the 1280, but the video might not have been shot at that, but you can still use it. That's fine. I'm going to use the 1280 by 720. It's going to just scale it up a little bit. It's not really going to adjust it. Then you can give it a name and put it somewhere. I'm going to throw mine on the desktop for now. And then it'll then render it and put it on there, and then I can upload it to my YouTube channel. Okay, I'm going to go over basic editing inside of iMovie, as well as the kind of split screen view in case you want to try that again in iMovie. I'm going to go over some basic editing techniques and basically how to do the split screen. Okay, so some special effects you can do inside of iMovie. I talked a little bit about having an assignment doing a split screen. So the technique of a split screen is basically what we call a picture inside of a picture in iMovie. I can't really figure out how to do more than two videos playing at the same time. You can see an example here where I have a video playing, this top video playing here. You can change the size of it where you want it to be and things like that. This split screen, this one over here, is a little bit different. I used a side-by-side technique. Okay, so this one's called side-by-side, and this one's called picture inside a picture. So let me just briefly show again. If you're new to iMovie, basically how it works is you import your video or you capture your video, and it's in the window over here to the left. You choose the part of the video you want to use, and you could either drag it down there by holding the mouse down and dragging it into the timeline that is down below. Usually you can butt it up against a video, like this is a video here and this is a video here, and it'll go cut right to the next one very easily inside of the program. Next, if you want to do two videos at the same time, like I just said, I could choose another piece of footage. So we got the earth kind of shot here, so let's do something different. Maybe a person dancing. There we go. So we got a person dancing, and we'll put that in there. You can always edit your video so that they are the same length by putting your cursor at the edge and dragging it back, and that'll then change the out point. So I haven't gone over the basics of video editing in iMovie yet, but I don't know, if for some reason I started with the split screen here. I should probably start with that first. But I already had this going. So I'll reorder this. So in this case, I have one video over top of the other, and as you could tell, the top one's kind of over top of the one that's underneath it. So what you could do is you could select the one on top, and there's two options here. In this window over here is kind of a preview window and an adjustment window over here. In the pull down menu over here under this call out option here, right here, the final one here, you got blue screen effect if you were doing some special effects, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But what we have is something called side by side, which allows the two videos to play kind of side by side to each other, as you can see. Or you can do what's called picture in picture, which then takes the smaller one, the one on top, and shrinks it down, and then you can change the size. I don't know how to scale it. And what I mean by scaling is how you maybe stretch it or distort it, but you can get kind of a window inside of a window. I don't know how to do more than one. I haven't got that far. I tried putting more than one clip on top and it won't let me do that. So I don't know how to do more than that. Again, the two options are the clip above. You can do picture inside a picture or side by side, and you get two videos playing at the same time. So that's that option. Another option is, I'm going to go back to cutaway here, is you could select the one that's on top, okay, and you can use other effects like opacity, so it fades down so that the two are actually playing together. So you get a video effect of two kind of morphed together, as you can see that. Right there is a good, nice effect right there. So instead of doing a cutaway or instead of doing side by side or picture inside a picture, you can actually just change the opacity right here. In addition, there's a way to fade it so it fades when it comes on and comes off. You can see the fade right here. That fades it on and off. You can adjust the fade so it fades really slowly on and then off. There's some controls down into here when you choose the fade here. So that's a good way to blend some videos together. There's ways to changing the colors of the videos if you want. You have something called the color option here, which allows you to adjust the color of the video, as well as this is a crop to fill, which allows you to change the size of the video. Well, not really the size. What you're doing is you're taking out a piece of the video, but I don't know, that doesn't seem to work right now for me. And then of course the Ken Burns effect, where it kind of pans and scans as it's going along. This is a option to if the shaky movie, to stabilize it, and then there's some audio options, and then some speed options here. If you want to change the speed, you can say slow, fast. So if you wanted this person to go slower down the hill, you could say slow, and then you have some options, and it'll stretch it slower. So if you hit space bar, you see he's going a lot slower, but the sound will be, I think the sound slows down too. Again, so you could change the speed. I'm not sure what auto does. I don't know. Oh, you can custom and type in what you want. So if you wanted to go twice as fast, you can type in 200 and hit tab. And did it work? Normal. Oh no, custom 200 tab. No, it didn't work. Custom. How about we try 80? Did that work? No, it still says normal. I'm not sure how to do the custom there. So there's a bunch of other effects. I'll go over them in other movies, but right now what I really wanted to cover was kind of the fade blending and the picture inside of a picture inside of iMovie.